Hello everybody, welcome to the Canal Basin where, I'm pleased to report, we've got dappled sunshine, a little bit crisp but still very pleasant. Right, what's happening on the good ship Sky Blue then?
Well, another quiet week, isn't it?
Well, it was until, aren't we back in court?
We are, yes.
Anytime
back
soon?
in the High Court. Anytime soon. Go on, explain.
I thought you were going to explain because I don't know what's going on. What? That's the old three code. Well, as I understand it, the club / CC, I always think of them as the club / CC, are taking the council to court, saying how dare you bail out ACL and and I'm speaking in strictly non-legal layman's terms here. How dare you bail them out and stop us bankrupting them? Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit like if you're the landlord and I'm the tenant.
Yeah.
I've stopped paying you rent.
Right.
You can't pay your mortgage.
There's somebody there.
And there's a chance that your house might be repossessed, and
Yeah.
then I can get it on the cheap.
Right.
Does that about ring right?
It does, but yes, but the people who own the house couldn't pay the mortgage because the tenant wasn't paying the rent.
That's what I said.
But then I'm trying to encapsulate. But then the nice building society around the road came and said, look, here's a cheaper mortgage, and now you can pay your mortgage, which is good. But now the tenant has said, well, you can't do that. Because is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
See, this is the problem with housing analogy. If you remember, Ken DeLue and Paul Cloughton were very keen on that. They would always, whenever we went to me, they would say, well, look, if I'm buying your house, you come to me. And it was very, I mean, it seemed like a nice, simplistic sort of way of explaining things, but actually you get deeper and deeper into sort of side corners, don't you? So, to sum it up then, is it another shambles?
It's not nice, is it?
It's not nice.
And, well, everybody's sort of, if they're trying to take them to court over this, how can they possibly go on the offensive? How can they possibly get around a table and talk about sorting out their problems? It's just, they're just getting further and further apart.
Yeah.
We're at the end, coming to the end of the season. They can't sell season tickets because we don't know where they're going to be playing next year. And the fans are just sort of left in limbo, thinking, well, where are we playing next season?
Well, the amazing thing is, of course, because obviously at the end of the day, it all boils down to money and how the money is distributed, and yet the only people who are actually making on the deal, as per ever, are your lawyers. Oh, to be fair, your PR people, because there seem to be quite a few of them floating around, issuing confusing statements. So, despite the pleasant weather, it's all a bit depressing, is it?
Well, let's talk about football.
That's a bit depressing. Well, no, it's not really. I suppose the thing is, I mean, I don't know about you, I'm always very defensive. And at the start of the season, I always look at the last game and think, what happens if we got to go there needing 3 points to avoid relegation? Now, luckily that was never an issue. At one stage, you're thinking, we're going to go there, we need 3 points to clinch the title, be in the playoffs, whatever it might be. But in fact, it is now your ultimate meaningless game because Notts County can't do anything, can they? It is literally just who finishes, somewhere between 12th and 16th or whatever it might be. So,
but speaking to the manager yesterday, I mean, I think Tuesday, I think he's keen. I mean, obviously he's used the last 2 or 3 games to experiment and have a look at players, and he'll do that again to a degree, I imagine, on Saturday because I think Blair Adams is probably likely to play. And obviously wants to have a good look at him and give him a run out before the summer. But I think he's determined to win the game. I mean, on Saturday against Leighton, they got a half decent performance, and they just didn't get a result. I think he's determined to sort of get that sort of one last win before they go off on their holidays. So hopefully, I mean, there will be a bit of decent football and a few goals. But
what's the pitch like? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't. It can't be any worse.
So guys, notwithstanding what they did to Alan's uncle's chip shop, what do you think of the Germans?
Germans?
They're on the rise.
It's interesting actually because I mean, it comes to something when you're relying on the Bundesliga to sort of salvage the European Cup for it. I still think of it as a European Cup, and no, it's not anymore. I'm sort of hard pleased. I must admit, I was an early member of the Barcelona backlash, because I think for all their intricate, lovely football, they can be a snide bunch at times. I mean, they've got more than their fair share of divers and moaners and running to the referee, waving imaginary yellow card. So I wasn't entirely upset to see them put in the place. I quite fancied Real Madrid getting through that, because I think I think it would be a phenomenal achievement for your man Mourinho to sort of win it, with 3 different clubs. I mean, that doesn't look very likely. So it is indeed a sort of all-German showdown. We assume, barring some miracle in the second leg. I don't know. It's. I
heard the Bayern manager was saying that he's going to go and attack in the second leg. He's not just going to sit back and defend. So it'll be interesting.
That's the German way.
So lads, 10 games. Was it enough?
Says the smirking Manchester United fan.
In the corner. Yeah.
Go on.
I suppose it's a fair old penalty, isn't it? Really.
It seems. I mean, at the time, as we said the other day, the man's a disgrace, and also, let's be fair, a bit, isn't he? He's not right in the head.
Dreadful wrong.
By any stand. And as I said, I thought Liverpool, if they were as great a club as they often claim to be, they would have come out and sort of took the initiative. But, and the big but is, you think, well, at the end of the day, it was almost like a comedic assault, wasn't it? I mean, there was no real damage done. I don't think skin was broken. And so you've got to say, how do you put these things? If you get 10 games for that, what happens to somebody who deliberately sticks his elbow in somebody's face, rearranges the teeth and or nose? I mean, sort of, if it happened in the street, the magistrate might well think, well, that's the worst. So I don't know.
Do you think they'll appeal?
I think you've got to now. You don't lose. I don't think. Again, I'm standing to be correct. I don't think it's one of these things where you can, they can stick on another 2 or 3 games for a sort of a nonsensical appeal. But I mean, the big thing is they really got to get a grip. There's been so many disciplinary things this year, and they've got this nonsense whereby they can only act if the referee definitely hasn't seen it. So you had that ridiculous situation where one of the worst tackles of the season didn't even rate a free kick, and yet because the referee caught a glimpse out of it out of the corner of his eye, they couldn't do anything. Well, that's nonsense. From now on, you've almost got to have like a list of they can act on anything that they see that wasn't suitably punished at the time. They can act on whether or not it sort of levels the referee's sort of respect or whatever. But as I say, I think you've got to say that if it does physical damage, if it's a leg breaker, that's worth some sort of Uruguayan clown having a nibble at your eye.